Okay, so this is a new episode of Juicy Bits, and on this one, what I want to cover in the King of Fighters 13 is juggle states, okay? Juggle states will help you understand how and when you drop certain combos, and it's important that you understand which juggle state you can put characters into with different special moves. Now, when you hit someone with a move in the King of Fighters 13, you might knock them into the air. Now, in the case of jumping CD, it just knocks down. There's really nothing you can do off that, usually. But some moves, when you knock them into the air with them, puts them in what's called a juggle state. There's two major juggle states, okay? And what you need to understand is to be able to recognize the difference between them. There's really no visual marker that says this is a full or not a full juggle state. So let me just go ahead and get into them. The first one, the full juggle state, I'm not sure if there's an official term for it, but I just call it the full juggle state. With Elizabeth, if you do a dragon punch motion into a hard punch, this move, if it hits, knocks them into a full juggle state. And all that means is anytime they're in the air, before they hit the ground, you can hit them with almost any move in the game that you want. You could hit them with a normal, you could jump up and hit them while they're up there, you could wait until they're all the way to the bottom of the ground and hit them with a crouching normal almost. As long as you do something while they're still in the air, and they're in a full juggle state, you will hit them out of it, and they'll flip out if you don't put them in a juggle state again. Now, her light punch version of this, the DP with the light, this actually causes the other juggle state. Some people call it a half juggle. I would like to call this one a timed juggle. And here's why it's a timed juggle. If you run forward, or if you try to hit Vice right here as low to the ground as possible, it doesn't work and it just whiffs. Okay, I'll give you another example that's a little more obvious. If you land the fierce uppercut with Elizabeth, you can do a quarter hard punch in the corner because of that full juggle state. If you do the light one, it doesn't work. Even if you do the quick one, it doesn't work. So the question is, why? And the reason is, when you hit someone with this move, they are in a juggle state, and you can hit them with almost any normal or any move in the game, but only for a limited time. That's why I like to call it the timed juggle. The easiest way to see that there is somewhat of a way to see when the timed juggle is over. If you look at Vice right now, her head is at the top left, her feet are at the bottom right. You'll notice she's going to start rotating. Over time, she starts to rotate. And the timed juggle state is over a couple of frames after Vice enters the final animation. This is true for every character in the game. Notice, you knock them up, they rotate until they're almost at a vertical angle, and then they stop rotating. They just stay like that the entire time. Okay? And they will stay looking like that all the way until they hit the ground, until they're knocked down. So for the light version of this, that is the very last animation that you see. A couple of frames after the last animation begins is when the timed juggle is over. And there's a good way to illustrate this with Elizabeth. The light uppercut actually combos into itself because it recovers quickly and travels forward quickly. So, if you do two light uppercuts really fast, you'll still catch Vice just at the end. Notice, Vice has entered that full vertical animation, but I'm still able to get that second hit because it's a couple of frames after the last animation has begun. That is when the timed juggle ends. If you put your opponent into a juggle state, there's only two: a full juggle or a timed juggle. Her EX grab puts into a full juggle state. I can combo off that. Okay? But I should mention that there is one other way that you can actually juggle an opponent or combo them out of the air. Here's a really useful thing you need to know. If you hit someone with a jumping CD and you knock them down, you'll notice that they're invincible while they're in the air because you knocked them down, right? Similarly, if your opponent is jumping and you hit them out of the air with a normal, they're invincible until they hit the ground, right? You can't hit them again until they come to the ground. Well, there is something else you can do. Some characters have this. Not every character has it. It's something called anywhere juggle, okay? Now, what that means is, if your opponent is in the air at all, whatsoever, no matter what juggle state they are in, an anywhere juggle move will combo. Elizabeth's super, this quarter forward half back punch, this has an anywhere juggle property. So if they're in the air, anywhere, at any time, no matter what juggle state they're in, even if you jab them out of the air, if you hit them with a jumping CD, or if you put them in a full or a half juggle state, No matter where they are in the air, this will always combo from anything. Okay. Vice has one too. And it's her EX sleeve, which is half circle forward, both kicks. Only the EX version has anywhere juggle. Okay, so anywhere juggle, not every character has it, but a few characters do. It usually costs a bar, although there are a couple meterless examples, but it's a unique property that some characters have access to. And last but not least, every single character in the game, even if you don't have a special move that causes a full juggle, every single character in the game can cause a full juggle with a counter hit, standing or jumping, CD, or blowback. Okay? So here's the idea. You can set counter hit to first attack here in training mode. A counter hit, if you're unaware, all that means is that you're hitting someone during the startup of a move before it actually is capable of hitting you. So, if you land a counter hit standing or a counter hit jumping CD, your opponent is in a full juggle state, and you can combo them with more or less anything you want. Okay, just like with Elizabeth's fierce uppercut, how that causes a full juggle state, and you can combo with almost anything you want. Similarly, the counter hit jumping or standing CD causes a full juggle state, and you can combo pretty much everything you want. So even if your character doesn't have a move that causes full juggle, a counter hit, standing or jumping CD will still give that to you. Knowing about juggles is going to increase your damage potential. It's going to help you understand where combos are possible. And quite frankly, if you don't know about them, you can't play Elizabeth or Vice. So there are some characters that are somewhat juggle heavy in their combos. Most characters, when you get someone to the corner, you're going to knock them into the air and you're going to do juggles all day, and it will be helpful to know what those juggle states are. So that said, this was a quick one. That's pretty much all you need to know about juggle states. There will be more videos coming. Please check the description if you'd like more information on King of Fighters 13 and where to learn it. Check out my stream, like, comment, subscribe, blah blah blah. I'll see you later.
That was easy.